Key. We are live for another night of football, another live night of watch-along football. And tonight, it's Livingston against Ross County. It's the Scottish Premier League. It's the relegation playoff final, first leg. Livingston seeking to come up from the Scottish Championship. Livingston in quite decent form coming into this one. Ross County seeking to prevent going down from the Scottish Premier League. So, that's the way it works in the Scottish Championship, the Scottish Premier League, if you weren't aware of that coming into this one. And first leg at Livingston, second leg next week at Ross County. We're going to be covering that one as well as we go into the final few days of the football season before the Club World Cup starts. We're going to be still sticking with our pledge to you to be doing watch-alongs every single day on this channel. And we are going to be live for this one tonight. Obviously, during the live, we're still going to be covering off all the topics, all the football talking points that we've been talking about through the week. The reaction, the full reaction to Spurs beating Manchester United in the Europa League final last night. I want to talk about Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. I want to talk about the fallout to that Europa League final. Bruno Fernandes potentially going to Al Hilal in Saudi. I want to talk about Arsenal and Mikel Arteta refusing to comment on the statement that Spurs have had a better season than them, and he doesn't talk about other clubs, but he spent all week talking about Liverpool. I want to talk about the Europa Conference League final, Chelsea and Betis next week. I want to talk about the playoff final, Sheffield United and Sunderland coming up. The Champions League final, of course, PSG and Inter. We've still got the Serie A title to be decided. That's going to be coming up on this channel not too long ahead now. We're going to be watching Napoli against Cagliari at the Maradona Stadium. So, yeah, listen, loads of football still to come before the end of the Premier League season, before the end of the football season. We are going to be doing the end of the Premier League season as well, of course. Nottingham Forest against Chelsea this weekend is the game we're going to be doing live. That's on Sunday afternoon. And we're also going to be doing the trophy lift, of course, Liverpool against Palace. But both of those teams are going to be very much worse for wear. They're still on the beach. They're still booking their holidays. They've long since achieved their dreams for this season. The league title for Liverpool and the FA Cup win for Palace. So, look, loads still to talk about tonight. What happens with Palace as well, of course. It's going to be another thing we need to talk about. What happens with Palace? Are they going to lose Eze? Are they going to lose Gueye? Are they going to lose Lacroix? Do we think Mateta could be tempted by a move away? Loads still to be decided. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to get your predictions. And while we're doing all that, we'll keep up with Livingston and Ross County as well. If you're a Livingston fan or a Ross County fan, we get fans from all over the world watching this channel. So I'll hope that you stick around. Look, we do watch-alongs from all leagues, all different types of leagues. And it's great to watch your club tonight, Livingston against Ross County. We're not going to do too many, I would imagine, Livingston games and Ross County games going forward. But you never know. You never know. I guess it depends very much on the football calendar and how the cards fall. And also what the people tell me they want to watch as well. This was the biggest game to watch tonight, and that's what we're watching. So Livingston against Ross County, and we'll obviously be keeping an eye out on the Bundesliga game as well, which has just kicked off. Heidenheim against Elversberg in the Bundesliga. That's a relegation playoff as well. So I'll let you know how that one's going. Can see the chat's already coming in. Jaden Reese-Thompson, 29 days. Good to have you again, Jaden. You're on a run just as good as us, mate. You're sticking with the channel. You're watching us every single day. Love it. RFC for life. I was here, Stockport and Birmingham. Yes, Stockport and Birmingham. Did we do Stockport and Birmingham? We did do Stockport and Birmingham. I'm trying to think, did we do We did do Stevenage and Birmingham. Surely you're on about that one. But either way, yes, I do remember you, mate. Of course, RFC for life. Yes, I do remember you. But yes, we did Stockport and Leyton Orient, and we did Birmingham and Stevenage as well was the other one. But yeah, of course, listen, absolutely I remember you. Let's get going tonight. First off, before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Match Bingo. Match Bingo, absolutely brilliant. They are a genius new app. If you've never heard of Match Bingo, you've never played Match Bingo before, I am absolutely certain that you're going to love them. I'm absolutely certain that you're going to appreciate how they are innovating in the football match betting, sports betting space. It's completely different to your regular old traditional football betting. It combines all the excitement and fun of that if you like a bet on the footy, as I do, it combines all the fun and excitement you'd associate with that with all the fun and excitement you'd associate with a game of bingo. And what happens is you set up your account, you deposit, and you get a bingo card. You buy a bingo card for whatever specific game you're betting on, and you get 15 random events from that game on your bingo card. And it'll say things like, for example, this weekend it might say Nottingham Forest corner, Chelsea free kick. And as those things happen during the game, it'll tick it off on your bingo card. Over £200,000 has been paid out to match bingo players across the UK. Over 10,000 match bingo players across the UK as well. And growing very, very quickly. You can download the app on your phone, on your tablet, whatever you prefer. Go and check it out. It will really help the channel as well if you do so. If you deposit £5, set up your account, deposit £5, you get £10 free. 10 to try it out. So deposit 5, you get 10 back. They are confident that you'll stick with it and you'll love it. So like I said, if you want to really help the channel, if you want to support the channel, it makes a massive difference, not only to Match Bingo, but to us as well. Go and check it out. You can scan the QR code, you can click the link in my description, and the offer is only lasting to the end of this month, so you've not got long left to take it up. And after that, it's gone away into the ether. But listen, really appreciate you sticking with us, and hopefully we have another good live tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's get going on TikTok as well. Obviously, we're live on everything tonight, not just YouTube, but we're live on Twitch, we're live on X, we're live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We're live on the lot, and we're live for Livingston against Ross County. So you're going to have to let me know what you're thinking about this one tonight. And more importantly, what do we make of that United result? What do we make of the news coming out of Manchester United today? Bruno Fernandes potentially looking to leave. Garnacho looking to leave as well. It feels like it's all happening at Man United, all very, very quickly, all of a sudden. And you do wonder whether or not there was conversations behind closed doors, I guess, of would this happen? Maybe it feels like they were so unprepared for them losing the Europa League final that, you know, almost it was obvious. Of course we're going to win it. Of course we're going to win it. Yeah, there's no chance we're not going to win the Europa League final. Absolutely we're going to win it. And now they've lost it. It's like absolute mayhem. Like, what do we do now? Garnacho, furious that he didn't really get on the pitch. Bruno Fernandes, just inconsolable. Talking immediately after the game, not only about whether or not the club might want to sell him, but also about he wants to compete in the biggest competitions and compete for the biggest trophies. So he's already alluding to that he'd probably be up for leaving, but maybe he's playing it as well. The club might want to sell me, so it gets the United fans off his back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just thinking to myself, it's all kind of, the cards are all falling in maybe the wrong way for Manchester United at the minute. Timmy, what are you watching tonight, lad? We are watching, mate. This is gargantuan. This one. If you aren't watching this, you're clearly not a football fan. It's the Scottish Premier League playoff final, first leg between Livingston and Ross County. That's what it is. That's what we're watching tonight. But of course, it's not just we're watching along. We're going to be doing a watch along. Of course, we're going to be doing a watch along. But we are going to be doing the chat, the reaction. It's going to be a live reaction chat almost as the game is going on, because I'm sure we're not going to get too many Livingston fans and too many Ross County fans in. But of course we're going to be watching the game. Of course we're going to be chatting about United in the Europa League final. We're going to be chatting about Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Wirtz to Liverpool, PSG in the Inter Champions League final game, Betis and Chelsea, what happens this weekend with Chelsea and Forest, all of that. We're going to have a chat about everything. Kieran Baines, sorry last time, come on Tottenham. Callum, just got my first NFL jersey. Nice, what NFL team did you get? I've never watched the NFL, I've got to be honest with you, it's not really my thing. Timmy, Notts County sacked their manager today. Really? Notts County sacked their manager? Well, it's maybe not surprising, because we watched AFC Wimbledon against them the other day, and I thought County were pretty poor. They were pretty poor. Callum, rather watch NFL than this shit-all game. Timmy, I'm watching that too. I didn't think you was as sad as me. Oh, Timmy. Oh, we plunge the depths. We plunge the depths on this channel. If there's a game to be watched, you know we're watching it. So absolutely, mate. I'm definitely going to be watching a bit of the Scottish Premier League playoff final. It's relegation playoff, isn't it? It's the relegation playoff final. Livingston in the Scottish Championship. Ross County in the SPL. Ross County trying to prevent going down, and Livingston maybe trying to see if they can sneak up into the top flight. Stanley, big win for Spurs last night, wasn't it just? Absolutely sensational from Spurs. It was an awful game though. It was bloody terrible to watch, wasn't it? It wasn't great. It wasn't one for the purists. Wasn't a great advert for English football. But I thought Ange Postecoglou got it absolutely spot on. And Amorim, you know, the United fans, I think we said immediately as the lineups came out, didn't we, on this channel? We were doing the watch along, and everyone in the chat said, "Oh, I'm not sure about that United midfield. Casemiro and Fernandes up against Sarr, Bentancur, and Bissouma. That's going to be tough. Physical, pacey, athletic. I mean, forget the fact that they're outnumbered. That's a really, really tough one." So, yeah, I was really surprised when we saw 3 versus those 2, especially when you consider Fernandes likes to push forward as well. So Casemiro was really on his own for most of the game. And they just got overran. They got absolutely overran in midfield. Andrew Morel, BFC, non-league football is the best. Muzzer. Nice. What non-league team do you like, Muzzer? Who's your team? Stanley thought Højlund was honking last night. Well, you know what? We say that, and I know where you're coming from. A lot of United fans are obviously giving United centre-forward attack in general. I mean, Mason Mount did not escape criticism. Bruno Fernandes has got quite a bit of criticism as well. But yeah, I honestly think that Højlund's not too bad. Not too bad. He's still young. Last year, do you know last year Rasmus Højlund won Premier League Player of the Month? He won Player of the Month last year. Like, it's not that long ago. It's amazing how quickly football can change. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't great. And also, he's still only 22. There's time for Rasmus Højlund. I really think United are going to be tempted to keep hold of him. Mainly because they can't afford to sell him. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with Rasmus Højlund this summer, given that United don't have a lot of money to play with. Stanley thought Højlund was honking. Timmy, worst final I've ever watched. Stanley, it's like watching Stoke and Preston the exact same game, just in the Championship. Southend or Oldham will be making a return to the Football League. Come on, Oldham. I'd fancy Oldham back in the Football League. Andrew Morel, Muzzer, I support Barwell. Barwell FC. Where's Barwell? Can't say I've heard of Barwell. Let's have a look. Where's Barwell? Barwell FC. Leicestershire. Oh, okay. You're in the Southern League Premier Division Central. You play at Kirby Road. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know who they were. Stanley, hope Charlton beat Orient. Love an away day there. Yeah, obviously we're going to be doing that as well. That's one for this weekend. Charlton against Leyton Orient. We're obviously going to be doing on Bank Holiday Monday, AFC Wimbledon against Walsall as well in the League 2 playoff final. So Saturday is going to be the Championship game as well. Championship final, Sunderland and Sheffield United. Sorry. So yeah, really keen to see how those 3 play out. Nick A13, prediction, United Villa over 2.5 goals. It's going to be very interesting to see how United react, isn't it? How do United react after this? It's a dreadful, dreadful night for them. And apparently, by the way, do you know that there's a group of United fans seeking to get the game called off? I don't know if they're an organised group of United fans, but there is a subsection, a cross-section of United fans trying to get the game called off on Sunday. Again, it's the same thing with United fans every single time, isn't it? They lose a few games. Oh, get the yellow and green scarves out. It has to be the case. So, yeah, we're watching with intrigue to see exactly what that's going to look like. Callum, Tom Brady's old side is New England. That Van der Ven clearance was just a terrible header from Højlund. I don't know. I don't know what more Højlund could have done there. Sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and say that was a bloody good clearance from Van der Ven. He was very, very good. Rubes, can I be a mod? Yeah, mate, I've no problem with you being a... I mean, to be honest, there's not really an awful lot going on in the chat on YouTube at the minute. They don't react. What do you mean they don't react? Who doesn't react? United. Stanley, aren't they all at like 301? That's for Locklear's charity, I think. Do you know what? I was wondering that. Why are they all at 301 or 101? It's 1 minute past. What is that for? Is that for like a... I assumed it was for maybe a charity thing, but is it? I didn't know what it was for. Is it mental health? Is it heart? Is it what is it? What's the charity? Muzzer, Barwell FC got relegated last season, but got a reprieve to stay in Step 3. Okay. Nick A13, they'll concede a lot, I think, over 2. Well, I mean, that's assuming the game goes ahead. That'd be point number 1. Is the game actually going to go ahead? If it does go ahead, I don't know. I think it could be a really, really horrible game for United, and it could be 3 or 4. Villa could wipe the floor with them. But then you might get a reaction. I don't know. United, they've been pretty crap all season. And this is the absolute lowest of this group of players. I'm sure Amorim has said to some of those players already, listen, you're not playing for us again. He might as well put out a group of kids, a group of 11 players that are definitely going to be with the team. Like Harry Amas probably starts. He probably puts Xerxes back in, assuming he's fit, and Højlund maybe gets dropped to the bench. I don't know. But the group of players that he wants to keep probably all start. Rubes, can you hear the tears of United fans? I can't actually. They all seem to have scuttled off. You can't really hear Man United fans. Andrew Morel, Leroy Lita was playing for Barwell FC last season. Really? Leroy Lita, what a player he was for Reading. Stanley, I'm surprised Van der Ven didn't get injured doing that. Stanley, every minute counts. That player who collapsed twice. Oh yeah, he played for Luton, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, right, okay. That's really good. That's quite nice, yeah. 1 minute past kick-off. Playoff finals to kick off late to spotlight CPR. And it was in the 2023 Championship playoff final. Ah, right, okay. To raise awareness of the Every Minute Matters campaign. Do you know what, though? Is that like a... What exactly can that raise awareness of, though? Maybe, again, I'm being super, super ignorant with it, but I guess, I don't understand. If someone collapses like that, of course every minute matters. But I don't know what the 1 minute over kickoff time is actually supposed to raise awareness of, short of actually... You'd panic. You would panic like hell. Every minute counts. That player who collapsed. Like Stanley, I'm guessing. So Nick A13, Tottenham win on Sunday. Spurs Brighton. I've backed Spurs to get a point in that one. They were 2-1, believe it or not. You can get 2-1. I don't know if you still can, but I got 2-1 for Spurs or draw against Brighton, and I thought that made a lot of sense because they'll be on an absolute high after the Europa League final. And yeah, I'm interested to see how Spurs get on in that game. Again, are they going to be super hungover? Are they going to react like Liverpool have reacted after going and winning the title? Or are they actually going to be professional? Shihab Mohammed, good to see you, Shihab. Sesko or Gyökeres? For Liverpool, Sesko. Yeah, for Liverpool, I'd rather Sesko. Stanley, does that player that collapsed still play for Luton? I think he retired, didn't he? I think he's retired. Tom Lockyer. He's a Welsh professional footballer, plays as a centre-back for Luton Town and the Wales national team. Allegedly still a player. Has he played again this season? No. hasn't played a minute for club or country this season. He played a little bit in the Premier League, but I think it's almost certain that there's been something discussed with him. I mean, I'm guessing how old is he? 30 years old? That's very sad. That's really sad. So that was in the 2023 Championship playoff final. He came back, made 15 appearances in the Premier League for Luton and then hasn't played a game since. So really sad, isn't it? Really, really sad. Judith Lockyer is RIP. No, he's not. He's not. Molly, I packed R9 today. What do you mean you packed R9? Shihab Mohammed, I'm surprised no clubs are going for Rob Edwards. And Judith says Al Shabab are in for him. Rob Edwards? Where is he at the minute? Most recently the manager of Luton. Yeah, no, I don't know where he is. I thought he had a really good season in the Premier League, actually, to be fair. Stanley, shame that he's a good player when I watched him. He was alright, yeah, he was okay. And again, it's always sad when you see a player go down like that, which is totally not anything to do with them. And it's, it's just, yeah, the grim part of life, unfortunately, isn't it? You never know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Molly, I got a football pack and got Brazilian Ronaldo. As in a football pack on EAFC. Is that what we're talking about here? Alright, Judith, Molly, chill out up here. There's absolutely no way that person is called Judith. Right, Livingston lineups. It is Pryor in goal, Brandon, McGowan, Wilson and Fraser at the back, Pittman, Tate and Kelly in midfield, Smith, Muirhead and Montano up front. Okay. David Martindale, manager of Livingston. Oh, match attacks. Ah, right, okay. And then Ross County, it is Amisar, Wright, Nightingale and Campbell at the back. Fete, Randall, Kenny and Ashworth in midfield. And then it's a front three of Samuel, Hale and Nisbet. Don Cowie, the manager. Who did Don Cowie used to play for? Know that name. Who did Don Cowie play for? Bounced around a bit, Don Cowie, didn't he? Wigan. I knew he played down south. Played Cardiff, Watford and Wigan. My mate supports Wigan. That's how I knew. Nick A13, Newcastle, Everton. I'm thinking that might be a draw. I really do. I really, really do think it's going to be a draw, And I think Newcastle might drop out of the Champions League. Telling you, watch out for that one. Newcastle to draw at home to Everton, and once they do drop out, Isaac transfer request. Bang. Callum, RIP to the 22 people who died in the arena attack 8 years ago. It's like 8 years ago. Bloody hell. Yeah. God, yeah. Mad. 22 people in the Manchester arena attack. Awful. Yeah, I remember that day so vividly as well. Right, we're off. Good shout, that, Callum. Kieran, if Ange only wins in the second year, then they are not winning the Champions League. Connor Hetfield, hey Kieran, hey chat, good to see you, Connor. How you doing, mate? Ben, Bruno leaves United, I'm convinced. Selling him is close to their Champions League money they'd have got if they won last night. Hang on a minute. Right. How much do you think Bruno Fernandes goes? He's 31. How much do you think Bruno Fernandes... There's no way Bruno Fernandes is going for any more than 60 million, and I mean 60 million tops. I'm not sure that there's one club in Europe who looks at Bruno Fernandes at 60 million quid and goes, that's good value. That is good value. Definitely good value, that. Definitely good value. No chance. Rubes, if you have a heart attack, you need CPR within a minute to make sure you don't lose ability. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know, but surely that doesn't need raising awareness of. Like, I mean, great. Like, I'm not, it's a great cause. It just feels a little bit like, what are you actually raising awareness of here? I don't know. It always puzzles me. There's not awareness that. I don't know. Maybe that's my own rather stupid ignorance. But yeah, if someone goes down, the fact that you only have a minute or so, believe me, if someone drops like that, you're reacting. You're reacting. Ben, Livingston win 2-1. I fancy County. We're going to do both legs in this one. FM no casuals, Ross County. I do think Ross County, I think, over 2 legs, I fancy. It's absolutely dead here as well. Livingston 0, Ross County 0. Obviously, I mean, you would expect 2 minutes in, but like, there's literally about 500 fans here. The full stadium. It's only a 9,000-seater stadium, and it's empty. It's empty. The full stadium is empty. Looks like there's about 500 people there. Rubes, remind me why you're watching this. Well, we're doing it as a live because we've been live every single day. As you know, we're live every single day. We do a watch along every day, and this was the best of the best that we could have watched tonight. So it is a Livingston v Ross County watch along, yes, but it's also a general chit chat about football, transfer rumours, transfer news, Bruno Fernandes. What happened with United and Spurs, Liverpool, Florian Wirtz, PSG and Inter in the Champions League final, Chelsea and Betis, the Championship playoff final this weekend, the League 1 and League 2 playoff finals, of course, as well. What happens with Forest and Chelsea? Do we think Liverpool and Palace are actually going to be sober when they turn up on Anfield on Sunday for the trophy lift? It's going to be a really, really good end to the season. Connor Hetfield, I'm good, Kieran. Made it through a horrific week. But I'm fantastic, mate. No more gambling for me for a while. No worries, Connor. Hey, listen, yeah, definitely take the summer off, mate. If you're feeling it, definitely take the summer off. Up the ticks, AM10. I hope they do make Isak available. I don't know if they'll make Isak available, but I do think, I do think that he's gonna struggle to stay there and see his ambitions met, I guess. James McRae, are you watching the county game? Yes, we are. We're watching Livingston Ross County, but again, we're just having a general chit-chat about footy and everything. Just a general chit-chat about footy while the game is on. So whatever you want to talk about, if you want to talk about anything in particular, United, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. Again, Mikel Arteta, you want to talk about that? Mikel Arteta saying, I don't talk about other teams, when asked about whether or not Spurs have had a better season than Arsenal. And funnily enough, all he's done all week is talk about Liverpool. I say all week, all month. FM No Casuals, Ludogorets, Winterthur, Grasshoppers and County. I got Ludogorets, yeah. I also got Spurs last night. But I have got Heidenheim, which I'm regretting because they're losing against Elversberg. Mauro Pinto, hi. You see Rodrigo Mora? No. What about Rodrigo Mora? Rodrigo Mora. What about him? Is the news with him? No. I knew he played for Porto, but I don't know. I didn't know he was on about. Is that the news? The transfer news? What's going on? Scouse House, good to see you, mate. You okay, Key? I'm still made up about last night. TikTok's been savage and I'm loving it. It's been great, hasn't it, mate? Absolutely brilliant. These United fans getting absolutely pasted. AM10, I've seen something saying if we sign Wirtz, it means we'll sell Nunes and Diaz. I'm almost certain Nunes goes no matter what. Diaz, it seems like there's a little bit of a balance there. Diaz might want to stay. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with that one. AVFC Jamie 2008, do you reckon David will join Villa? I think it's going to be dependent on what happens with Ollie Watkins, surely. Do we think Ollie Watkins leaves? Is Ollie Watkins likely to go? I think Arsenal are chasing Ollie Watkins still. I know there's not really a lot of rumours around that one, but I think he's desperate for Arsenal. He's absolutely desperate. And do you know what? I would be, as a Liverpool fan, I would be more concerned about Ollie Watkins going to Arsenal than Gyökeres or Sesko or any of them. And it's not to say that they're not, Sesko's got a higher ceiling than Watkins, but Watkins guarantees you goals. If nothing else, he guarantees you goals. So, yeah, I would be very much surprised if Watkins didn't try to get that move to happen again. He's definitely on the radar of Arsenal. We know they tried to sign him in January. Didn't quite work out. Them and Villa couldn't agree on something. And yeah, I think Unai Emery's looking to move him on. Substub, yo, good to see you, Substub. How you doing, mate? Really good to see you. But yeah, Jonathan David is a very, very good player, and he's mentioned being linked with Barcelona. I think his preference is Barcelona. He said he supported them as a kid. He'd like to play for Barcelona in his career. So he's definitely flirting with him. Whether or not Barca are interested, I don't know. But yeah, I think Villa, I think if Isak goes, Newcastle would be a great shout. He's a really top player, Jonathan David. The fact that he's available on a free and he's coming from Liga, sometimes people seem to think he's not that good, but he's a very talented player. FM No Casuals, loads of time for Heim, lad. Yeah, listen, it's still early days, that one. AM10, I think Watkins leaves. He's been saying in interviews recently he's not happy with the lack of game time. I know when you thought once John Duran left, that would be a straightforward one. Watkins would just play loads of games, but oh, nearly! Ooh, Ross County very nearly 1-0 up there. Really good save from the Livingston keeper. Excellent shot there from Nightingale off the corner. It's a great save, that, from the keeper. Good ball in, number 35, Nightingale. Lovely little downward header, 6 yards out. Cracking save from the keeper. Yeah, so Watkins, I do think Watkins goes. I don't think he's all that enamoured with Unai Emery. But if Arsenal don't come in for him, I'm not sure he gets a better offer than Villa. Especially if Villa are a Champions League team, which they may well be. What's going on here? Is there a check? What are they checking? Oh my God, what is wrong with the Scottish Premier League? There's a check here. They've got to do a VAR check to see if the ball crossed the line. Why haven't they got the goal line technology? Why haven't they got the actual, the ball crossing the line? Surely there should just be a beep in the referee's ear. They've actually had to get a camera angle and check whether or not... It's like a full-on VAR to check if the ball's crossed the line. That's the first time I've ever seen that. That's mad. I'm really intrigued to see what the attendance is for this game. Because it's a 9,000-seater stadium, and Livingston are... Yeah, like I say, I would be amazed if there's any more than 1,000 people in that stadium. For such a big game as well, where Livingston could be going up to the SPL... I know it's only the first leg, but still, it's probably the biggest game of the season. It's what they've been building up towards. Stadium's empty. Empty. Scouse House, apparently we've put a big offer in for Wirtz, and Alvarez move may still be on. Yeah, I mean, Alvarez to Liverpool, I think, is definitely a goer. Wirtz, allegedly, if you believe that Bayern Munich account, Liverpool... it's almost certain. Apparently Wirtz has given his word to Liverpool. That's the breaking news today, that Florian Wirtz has given his word to Liverpool and he wants it sealed before the international break in a couple of weeks' time. Julia, sorry, 1 second, let me catch up with that. Julia, where do you think Delap will go? I would also say AM10, I've just seen your shout of saying it's Everton. I think he should go to Everton. I actually think Delap would do really, really well at Everton under David Moyes. But I don't know if Everton have got 30 million quid for him. Unless they sell Jared Branthwaite, Everton are in a dire financial strait, same as Man United are, to be honest. Maybe not as bad, but they haven't got a lot of money. They really haven't got a lot of money. So if they can find 30 million quid and they can tempt him, possibly. If not, then I think there's better clubs that he'll be tempted by. Maybe Maybe a Brighton. You know, João Pedro's on about leaving Brighton. So maybe Brighton could pick up the lap. That wouldn't surprise me. Brentford. Maybe Bournemouth as well. You know, Evan Nilsson. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there's rumours about him potentially going back over to Portugal or moving to Spain. So we'll see. We'll see. But Everton would be one of them clubs where he could go. He would play really regularly. He'd be the best player at the club, wouldn't he? He'd be the best. He'd go in. He'd be the starting number 9, the best player at the club, and it would give him a platform to grow. The only concern would be for Delap is that he's not really going to get a huge amount of service. You know, they're not a very creative team. They're not particularly good or free-flowing to watch. And but then again, neither were Ipswich, and he still bagged, 12 goals this season. So maybe. You never know. But yeah, I think Everton is a good shout for him. Will, yes mate, who's the best player for Livingston? Now you're putting me on the spot there. I'll say Nightingale. Nightingale's had a big chance. He's already looked quite composed in midfield. Livingston. No, Ross County with a penalty save. Sorry, that's for Ross County. For Livingston, I honestly couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. They've not really got a kick so far, and I'll level with you. This is the first Livingston game I think I've ever watched. So I genuinely couldn't tell you who their best player is. But Ross County, I've watched maybe 2 or 3 times this season. And you know, just in the opening 12 minutes here, Nightingale's had a decent chance for him. Josh, CFC RTG, who's the goal for? No one. It wasn't given. Josh, that's how our leagues are. 1 second. Sveta, 1610. Liverpool can't pull any big players. Wirtz and Alvarez will never go there. Well, you say that, but we have pulled off some big signings before, mate. We've done it before. AM10, I don't know what to believe with this Wirtz deal, especially with the Caicedo and Zubamendi deals. The thing is with Zubamendi and Caicedo is both of them, like, Caicedo was playing Liverpool. His agent was saying to us, yeah, come on, to try and get Chelsea to bid what Brighton wanted. They were just trying to tease Liverpool in. And there was a part of me that thought that that's what was happening with the Florian Wirtz Bayern deal. But this account, this Bayern, the Bayern Space, he's like a proper Bayern Munich fan account that's been going for years, has posted insider knowledge about Bayern for a long, long time. You know, he seems to know what he's talking about. He might not. He might be talking out his backside, but it seems to be that he's saying there's no way Bayern get him. There's absolutely no way Bayern get him. That the Leverkusen don't want to sell to Bayern. That the father of Florian Wirtz is also quite annoyed with Bayern Munich, and they've been very, very impressed with Liverpool. And allegedly, Florian Wirtz has now given his word to Liverpool, and in the next few days, we can expect to see an official bid being linked by Liverpool, being leaked. That's what he's saying is how it's going to play out. So I guess we'll see. But he's saying in the next few days, that's going to be the next step. Next few days, you'll see a confirmed official bid from Liverpool to buy a Leverkusen. That's what's happening. Whether or not it does, I guess we'll see. Will I only believe anything once Romano or Ornstein say something? Well, I'll tell you what. They don't get it right all the time either, you know. They don't get it right all the time either. Sfera and Lavia and Tchouameni. Yeah, I mean, Lavia just made a bad decision as far as I'm concerned. He hasn't worked out really all that well at Liverpool. At Chelsea, sorry. He should have come to Liverpool. James McRae, who do you think Man U will sell? Everyone. I mean, apparently that's the news, isn't it? That everyone basically is up for sale at Manchester United. And if they can find a buyer, then it's probably going to be... They're going to be for sale. If they can find a buyer. There's allegedly buyers in for Mainu and Garnacho already, and there's an offer on the table from Al Hilal for Bruno Fernandes, but I'm not sure Bruno Fernandes is all that set on Al Hilal. Scouse House, this could be the biggest window. Fingers crossed, we deserve it from FSG. It's overdue. Foster, Livingston do love a 0-0. Will, Conor Randall, ex-Liverpool player, is playing for Ross County. Is he really? Do you know, I saw the name Randall and I thought that's the only Randall I've ever known in football. Will When is the international break then? In the next couple of weeks. It's the Nations League that starts. Germany against... Is it Germany against Portugal or Germany against Holland? Can't remember. We're probably going to end up doing it on this channel. We'll do the watch along of it. Ewan McCarthy, Wirtz deal is off. Not from what we know. Liam Creighton, is the window even open? No, the window isn't open, but you can still buy players and do all that. You just can't officially register them to play, but you can sign players at any point in the season. You can actually sign players at any point. You just can't actually register them to play football. But you can sign them. They could come to the club and train with you at any point. So Frimpong, for example, Liverpool have put a bid in for Frimpong. It's been accepted. He's done his medical. He's agreed a contract, and I think he's signed his contract. He's just not going to be officially announced probably until the 1st of June when the window actually opens. So you can see the progress that Liverpool have made already with Frimpong. And publicly, at least, nothing has been announced with Wirtz. But we've seen it before. Liverpool are very, very good at keeping these deals under wraps. We saw it with Fabinho. If you remember Liverpool when they signed Fabinho, nothing was said. There wasn't even any rumours in the papers. There was nothing happening at all. And then all of a sudden, bang, he was there. He was literally on the front page of the Liverpool website in the kit, taking pictures, announcing the deal, and no one saw it coming. Everyone thought he was going to United. If you see the history between Bayern and Leverkusen, they haven't sold a player since 2005. I think it was 2003 or 2004. They haven't sold that many. You're absolutely right. Nick A13, who's going to get Champions League football? For me, I think it's going to be Chelsea and Villa. Something tells me, don't hold me to it, but I really do think that what we're going to see this weekend is Everton drawing with Newcastle. I do. I don't know why. I've got Everton playing really well recently. The Southampton game, they weren't fantastic, but they got the result. But I thought they were excellent against Fulham. And I think they can go away to St James's Park and get something. Newcastle have been crap recently. They have. They've been awful. And I knew they'd lose against Arsenal. Everyone was giving me stick on this channel for saying that. I said they'd be so... It's not even close. They was always going to lose against Arsenal. And it's happened, and they've not been great against Ipswich. They were poor against Villa before that. And they were poor against Brighton as well. They were lucky to get a point against Brighton. So I think Everton could get a point against Newcastle. And if that happens, Villa beat United, Chelsea beat Forest, Villa finished 6th in the Europa League. Newcastle finished 6th in the Europa League. So that's what I think is going to happen. Scouse House Garnacho in recent reports is not happy at all. I'd bet him to leave 100%. Yeah, apparently his brother's had a big kick-off in the press as well, hasn't he? So it's looking like Garnacho's probably going to leave United. Here's Livingston in down the left-hand side. Well done, Ross County, cleared away. Liam Creighton, I think it's different with Frimpong because it was a release clause. No, it doesn't make any difference, Liam. I mean, you can have a bid accepted for a player at literally any point in the season. It's very rare that anything happens mid-season. For that reason, obviously teams don't want to lose players mid-season, but the season's over as far as Leverkusen are concerned. AM10, that's the same as Gakpo, supposedly already agreed to go United. Next day was doing a Liverpool medical. Yeah. There's been loads like that. Fabinho, Gakpo, Asaidi was the one that came out of the blue for Liverpool as well. No rumours, no leaks. There literally wasn't a single newspaper story linking us to Usama Asaidi, and then he was just there in the kit. Who was the last player though that Bayern and Leverkusen did an exchange for? Trivia question. I do know this. They sold 3. Basically, Bayern came in and bought the best 3 players. Leverkusen beat Liverpool in the Champions League in about 2003-2004 season. Beat Gerard Houlliers Liverpool, and immediately Bayern Munich came in, and within 12 months they'd signed Michael Ballack, Ziriberto and Lucio, who were at the time Leverkusen's best 3 players. Signed them up. They were fantastic. And since then, there hasn't been really anyone who's gone from Bayern to Leverkusen. But I think it might be Rolfs. I'm sure Rolfs signed for Bayern from Leverkusen. That's the only one in between those, as far as I'm aware. Nick A13, St James's Park is a very good home ground for Newcastle. It is, yeah. It'd be sad to see St James's go as well. Andrew Morell Muzzer, Chris Kirkland is from Barwell. Is he really? Chris Kirkland, yeah, ex-Coventry, ex-Liverpool, of course. Connor Hetfield, let's just catch up 1 second. What made Jim Ratcliffe think United is a 3 at the back type of team? Well, I don't think he ever did, to be honest, mate. If I'm dead honest with you, I don't think Jim Ratcliffe is really a football man. Like, I mean, not in a strategy sense, but I absolutely guarantee you, that at some point, Hummels didn't go from Leverkusen to Bayern, did he? Wasn't that Dortmund? I was going to say, I'm sure you don't know about Dortmund, do you? But yeah, I really do think he's not a particularly... Have you just deleted someone? Have you just deleted a comment? Connor, apart from Liverpool, what was your favourite team performance you've seen this season? Favourite team performance? Apart from Liverpool? Probably Palace. Probably Palace in the cup final. I thought they were fantastic. Or even more recently, or even less recently, Newcastle against us in the cup final I thought was really good. We were poor, but I thought they were excellent. I'm trying to think of other ones where you'd look at it and go, what a performance that was. Callum Coyle, come on Livingston. Well, I mean, I do think it's going to be Ross County over the 2 legs, but yeah, Livingston, Ross County. It's not been a particularly entertaining, enthralling game, but here we go. Oh, Livingston very nearly 1-0 there. Good ball in as well. Really good ball in that. From the left-hand side, unlucky. Dilatango, European champions. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, he's right. He's right. FM No Casuals, Jim is the perfect man to manage Man United. Honestly, I think he's looked at the team and gone, Ten Hag isn't getting enough out of these. I'm going to go and get someone who can. And this is what's frustrating me about United fans and the unwavering support of Amorim. I guarantee that when he wanted to get someone else in to replace Ten Hag, Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, whoever it was who interviewed Ruben Amorim, I guarantee that question number 1, like literally top of the list, was, do you think you can get more? Not can we give you loads of money to reshape the entire squad? Like, do you think you can get more out of the ones we've already got here? Because we think we've paid big money for this bunch of players, and we're really hesitant to just chop and change the whole thing. We don't want someone to come in and tell us, you need to rip it up. You need to rip it up and sign like 20 new players. That's not going to be music to our ears. We need a guy who can come in and work with what we've already got. Do you think, Ruben Amorim, that you can get more than what this guy's getting? He finished 8th with us last year and we weren't that happy with that. 8th and the FA Cup he got, and we very nearly sacked him for that. And Ruben Amorim has obviously said, because he ended up getting the pissing job, he's obviously said, yeah, definitely, 100%, I guarantee I can get more out of these. So he's either lied, or he was wrong. And he knows now he can't. But I just, and that's, do you know what, there's an argument as well, because he's come out as well today, hasn't he, and said, Ruben Amorim, I'll quite happily go, if the club say they don't want me and the fans say they don't want me, I'll quite happily go, no compensation. That is basically as good as him saying, guys, please, just finish me, just end me. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore, but I don't want to like ruin my ego by saying I'm leaving. I don't want to do that. So please, can you just end it, please? AM10, did you see Alan Hansen will give the trophy to Virgil on Sunday? Will he really? Oh, that's dead nice. I hope so. Virgil getting the trophy off Alan Hansen will be lovely. What an occasion that'll be. FA Trophy, Aldershot Town versus Spennymoor Town, says Muzzer. Ooh, when's that? Jonathan XL, Elversberg, Bundesliga 2 team leading 2-0 versus Heidenheim. I know, yeah, I've got Heidenheim as well, so I'm gutted about that one. Heidenheim have just had a goal disallowed in that one. AM10, after this season, Ten Hag deserves all the credit. Won 2 trophies in 2 seasons with that squad. Jonathan XL, bro, Amorim is the right fit. He clearly has a plan, just needs more time. More time? More time? I'm not sure. I mean, evidently United fans seem to think so, but I think that's very, very risky. Zoo Many Animals, are you going to be streaming on Saturday? No. Yes, I am going to be... Why did I say no then? Yes, I am going to be streaming on Saturday. I'm doing 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, 2 on Monday as well. We're live every day on this channel. We do live watch-alongs every single day on this channel. So yes, if there's a game on, we'll be live. We're doing Livingston against Ross County right now. So that tells you all you need to know. We are the home of watch-alongs on Premier League Dad. Live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Twitch, live on X, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Mahinsi, are you a Spurs fan? No, I'm not a Spurs fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. But we watch everyone on this channel, as you've probably gathered. We watch everyone. I love watching football. This is where people come who just love all types of football matches and love having a natter. And they're a bit of a nerd like me. I'm a bit of a nerd. If you like just watching football and talking about everything about football, even if it's not to do with your team. My missus looks at me all the time. She says, why are you talking about like Plymouth and Coventry? You're a Liverpool fan. Why are you bothered about Plymouth and Coventry? I'm like, listen, shut up. All right? It's a big deal. Plymouth and Coventry. If I want to talk about it, I'm talking about it. It's football. It's life and death. Jonathan XL, bro. We already covered that one. Zoo Many Animals. I'll be at Wembley. You'll be at Wembley on Saturday. And who is it on Saturday? Or Sunderland, sorry, isn't it? Sunderland and Sheffield United. I got confused then with Charlton and Leyton Orient, which we're doing as well on Sunday, and on Monday we're doing Wimbledon and Walsall in the League 2 playoff. So we're going to be doing that as well. Muzzer, it played last week. Oh, I must have missed that then. Who won? Was it Spennymoor? Did Spennymoor win? FM No Casuals, where was this patience with other managers? Seriously, the Amorim loyalism baffles me. I know, honestly, Ten Hag won a League Cup and an FA Cup. And admittedly, he got the team to 8th, which wasn't great, and he had his criticism, but he still won 2 trophies, and he got them to 8th, and they were only in 12th. When he left them. Now all of a sudden you've got United fans saying rip the squad up. Every single one of them can go. They wouldn't have afforded Ten Hag to say that. They wouldn't have allowed him to say that. It's madness. Absolute madness. Jonathan XL, every manager who comes doesn't get time at Man United. Oh, I'm not sure I agree with that. But do you not think there's got to be a line? Like, when Ruben Amorim came in, he took over a team that was in 12th. They were 12th. They weren't like in the doldrums right down the bottom of the league. They were 12th. And they'd just won an FA Cup. They'd just finished 8th. It wasn't a team that was really, really bad. Look at David Moyes and the team that he got at Everton. Now, that was a load of shite, to be honest. But that's not what Ruben Amorim got. He at least got some players who are internationals. He got players who they've got a little bit of pace about them. Yes, the atmosphere is a bit toxic. Yes, the club's got a culture of, annoyance and irritation and all this sort of stuff, and there's a bit of a friction with the fans and the owners. But ultimately, there was a collection there of high-quality players, more so than Everton had. And when you compare what Pereira did at Wolves and Moyes did at Everton with what Amorim has done at United, it's unforgivable. When Ruben Amorim took over at United, they had, was it 30 points in December? They had 30 points in December. 5 months later, they've got 39. 5 months! How is that acceptable? Surely there's got to be a line in the sand where a new manager comes in and it's like, yes, we've got to give him time. Of course, we want to give him an opportunity to reshape the squad and all that. But you expect like a bare minimum. And I would have imagined that 17th and trophyless is not that. He knocked you out with the Carabao Cup. You got knocked out of the FA Cup with Amorim. You got knocked out of the Europa League and you're going to probably finish 17th. It's not a good look. It's really not a good look. Nick A13, do you think Tottenham will do good in the Champions League? I do actually, yeah. I think Tottenham have got the bones of a very, very good side. And you look at the likes of Bergvall, Maddison, Kulusevski. I think Porro's a very talented right back, a doggy. Van de Ven, Romero, if they can keep him. Archie Gray as well. They've got some talented players. They have got some dross as well, don't get me wrong. I think there's some in there that you'd look at and go, well, I'm not sure about Brennan Johnson just yet. I'm not sure about Richarlison. Heung-min Son's probably on his last legs. Sarr, Bentancur, Jury's out. Jed Spencer's been very good. Vicario, Jury's out. But they've got a core there, haven't they? They've got a core of good players that they could build around. And with the Champions League money, they could do all right. Livingston have just skied a chance from six yards out. That could have been 1-0. Probably should have been 1-0 to Livingston there. Lou049, are you watching the German game? No, mate, we're watching Livingston against Ross County. Pseudo score, it's 0-0. Livingston have just skied a chance over the bar. Matt Hinn, what do you think of Trent leaving? Couldn't care less. Oh, that's not true, that's excessive. Of course I care, of course I'm disappointed as a Liverpool fan, but I'm really more disappointed with how he's gone about it, and the guy's a rat, and I actually think he's going to regret it. I think he's going to regret going to Madrid, and I think within maybe 2 years, 18 months to 2 years, he'll want to come back. It's the same thing that happened with Owen, same thing that happened with McManaman. They all, 12 months in, they were all ready to come back. So I fully expect Trent will get the Owen, the McManaman treatment. Maybe the Gareth Bale. Look how good Gareth Bale was. They hate him out there. You don't get too many English players going and succeeding at Madrid, and to be honest, not many succeed at Madrid. Zoo many animals up the blades. Lou took Shupner for the card at 6.5. Milad 30 returns 195. Nice. SWFC Liam, thoughts on Sheffield Wednesday? Could maybe. I mean, it's a shame what's going on with the owner, isn't it? I'd say that the owner situation needs sorting out at Wednesday. Very good club. I prefer Wednesday to Sheffield United. I've got to say they're my Sheffield club. I prefer the Owls to the Blades, but yeah, definitely the ownership needs sorting at Wednesday. Football shirt guy. Spurs actually won a trophy. That's mental. But yeah, I'm really, really intrigued to see what goes on with United over the summer now. AM10, Diaz is valued at 80 million. Apparently Barca will pay. I don't know how they have that money. Well, apparently Olmo's leaving Barcelona. Yeah, Olmo's going. Rubes, think about it. At the start of the season, if you had said Newcastle, Spurs and Palace would win a trophy and Arsenal wouldn't, you would have been called. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that word, but yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Rubes. Callum Coyle, we're boring us, mate. Well, listen, it's mad. I'm still mad. Like, it's mad to see this is a SPL playoff final first leg, and the stadium has like 500 people in it for probably the biggest game of Livingston's season. I can only assume that the West Lothian's not a fantastic place to watch footy in. Maybe it's the second sport in Lothian. FM No Casuals. All these tactics and formation doesn't work. Let's not change anything, says Amarim. James McRae. Spurs trophy before GTA 6. Op C21. A Millwall jersey is missing in the back. Hugs from Madrid. Oh my God. A Millwall fan in Madrid. I never thought we'd see that. I think Amarim can be a decent manager, but his game management is terrible. I think he got the tactics wrong last night. I think he got the lineup wrong. The fact that he put his stock in Mason Mount and Luke Shaw, who've been unavailable for 90% of the season, and they haven't been great even when they've been in, to be honest, but they've been unavailable due to injury for 90% of the season. He's put his faith in them and not the likes of, maybe Harry Amas or Ugarte, for example. I think Ugarte should have gone in that midfield. Ross County whip it in. Chance. Just wide. Mace, will Man United be a top team again? Yes, they will. Man United will be a top team again, of course. Football is cyclical. It happens all the time. I'm a Liverpool fan, and there will come a time, of course, where Manchester United are back up there. The too big a club to be down forever. But I think it'll be a good while. Yeah, it'll be a good while. Liverpool will go down as well. Not go down, but you know what I mean. Liverpool will probably have our moments as well, where we're fighting for the Champions League, fighting for the Europa League and the Conference League. We'll drop again. In my lifetime, Liverpool have never been lower than 8th. I've been quite fortunate. To see Man United in 17th is a mad thing for me, because I've seen United win everything all man. That's why I hate them. Because I've seen them win everything growing up. Edward, hey Kieran, will you be doing the Scottish Cup final on Saturday? Nope, we're doing the Championship playoff final instead. Sheffield United against Sunderland. Callum Coyle, I'd take a draw, me. Yeah, I mean, going into the second leg, it probably wouldn't be the worst thing, would it? Livingston and Ross County, take it to the second leg, get back. Is that Danny Wilson? Danny Wilson for Livingston, ex-Liverpool, Another ex-Liverpool player on the pitch. AM10, would you have him back at Liverpool? No, I wouldn't have him back at Liverpool. Not anymore. Ryan J990, I understand the disappointment, but I feel rat is such a shit thing to say about a player. Again, to each their own. Everyone can use whatever terminology they feel most appropriate. I feel that rat is most appropriate, because I think he's lied to the club, lied to the fans, and he's been totally and utterly self-serving throughout the whole situation. And I think if you love the club, or profess to love the club at least, maybe you don't love the club. Look, if this was anyone else, anyone who wasn't a Liverpool fan for life, any of that at all, any at all, I don't think anyone would give a monkey's what Trent did and how he went about it. It's the fact that he said all along, I'm a local boy from Liverpool, and I have loved the club, and I'm living my dream, and all this nonsense. And he's dealt the club a really, really duff hand to try and get himself the best deal. And that's what fans don't like. So I think that is rat behaviour to me. I think I'm a big believer in looking after people who've looked after you. And I think it would be very, very misleading to say that Liverpool haven't looked after Trent Alexander-Arnold during his career. So yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold has done well for Liverpool. Liverpool have done very, very well for Trent Alexander-Arnold and his family. And well, that's the repayment they've got. Jay Flowers, if he goes on and don't like it, I don't want to see him back in an LFC kit. Yeah, listen, I don't think he will. I'd be very, very disappointed in Arne Slot if he brings Trent Alexander-Arnold on. Yeah, really disappointed. Zoo Many Animals, Shansiri, a laughing stock. Yeah, it's bad, isn't it, to see that. Jack A, you need an Everton shirt behind you. I'm a Liverpool fan, mate, so that's one of the things that ain't going behind me. There's no United shirts, no Everton shirts, no Chelsea shirts, no City shirts, no Arsenal shirts. There's none of them going behind me, ever. But I've got plenty of others. We're doing a full recycle at the end of the season, and I'm going to have 16 new shirts going behind me. So we're going to be doing a giveaway too, by the way, as well. You've got to be following me on TikTok. You've got to be following me on YouTube. But we are going to be doing a giveaway close to the end of the season, or before the start of next season, rather, in August. We're going to be doing a shirt of your choice. A shirt of your choice is going to be given away to one of the followers that follow out this account between now and the start of the new Premier League season in August. So, but you've got to be following TikTok. You've got to be following on YouTube as well. You've got to be subbed on YouTube. So if that makes sense to you, get over there and do it. There's going to be more details announced, but you can basically win whatever footy kit you want, or footy shirt you want, rather. Not kit. You're not doing the full FKW. Not getting your shorts and socks and shinnies as well. But you can get whatever shirt you want for the new season. Darren, nice. Muzzer, Barwell FC pitch is AstroTurf, is it really? Okay. JN28, any chance we can all laugh at Man United? Absolutely, yeah. Do it. DS, Livingston win. It's 0-0. Livingston have had their chances. County have had theirs. I think on the balance of play, I think County have probably just about been better. Just about. DS, aren't these teams in different leagues? Yes, they are. That's the way it works in Scotland, if you weren't if you weren't aware, Livingston are in the Scottish Championship, which is the second division, and Ross County are in the SPL, the Scottish Premiership, which is the top league where Rangers and Celtic are. They finished in the bottom half of the table, basically, down in the relegation battle area, and they now have a playoff, a two-legged playoff against Livingston, home and away. This is the first leg. We're doing the second leg next week, and the winner either goes up or stays in the SPL. So it adds a whole new dimension to promotion and relegation at the end of the season. AM10, like Madison yesterday. Yeah, absolutely. Dav382, that fella who bunks into places for free, is it Simon Williams? Are you his brother? No, I'm not Simon Williams' brother. I've never met Simon Williams. I only know of... I do watch Simon Williams' travel vlogs, though. He's a cool guy. He's Welsh as well, so I'm nowhere near him. But he's also a Liverpool fan, like me, would you believe? So maybe people who look like me, who are unfortunate enough to look like me, are Liverpool fans. This is what a Liverpool fan looks like from the Northwest. DS, I'm cashing my bet out. If Livingston win, I'm done. Well, yeah, as it stands, it's been a pretty drab first half, I'll level with you. Pretty drab. We really need Heidenheim to turn it around against Elversberg. They're 2-0 down. They've had a goal disallowed, mind, but they are 2-0 down. Oh, it's only the first leg. Oh, okay. It's only the first leg. We need Heidenheim to sort it out. Connor Hetfield, imagine United building a new stadium and never winning a home game ever again and getting relegated too. I think that the United home stadium is further away. The new United stadium, the whole circus thing and everything is it's about as far away as you can possibly get right now, because it's going to be very difficult for him to justify building that when the team isn't performing and the club's profits are going to tank. The whole club is... I mean, they've got to build a stadium. Manchester United have the most debt of any club in the world that doesn't have a new stadium. And that's the problem for United, that they've got a really, really run-down stadium. And the repairs to keep it up are going to get more and more. The PR of the club is suffering. I'm not entirely sure that they're going to be able to get the finances to build this Wembley of the North that they want to. And I actually kind of hope they don't. If I'm dead honest with you, not because I'm a Liverpool fan and I hate United, nothing to do with that. I honestly just want to see United keep Old Trafford. I think it's going to be really sad if Old Trafford goes. Oscar Man, good to see you. How you doing, Oscar Man? I was here yesterday. Yes, you were. Username or user not found 600, Romero and VDV masterclass yesterday. Come on, you Spurs. Van der Ven was exceptional. I'm kind of gutted. I mean, I was surprised that Romero got man of the match, because if it was up to me, it would have been either Van der Ven or Sarr. I thought Sarr was fantastic. Forget the assist. I thought he was brilliant in midfield. He was absolutely sensational in midfield. But every one of them was. Defensively, Spurs were warriors. And obviously, yeah, Romero and Van der Ven at the back were two of the better ones. Jim, hi mate, still recovering from last night. Oh, bless you. Bless you, Jim. Yeah, it was a big game, yeah. Jim's just said, to be honest, it does make me feel sick how big that match actually was for United. And even worse that we lost it. Yeah, that was a very, very big game for United. I've been saying for a while, mate, haven't I? It's kind of a sliding doors moment. It feels a lot like that Mark Robbins, FA Cup goal. Chance for Livingston. Now they've got it. Livingston 1-0. And it is it Danny Wilson? It is. It's ex-Liverpool. Danny Wilson has scored. I've even managed to link Liverpool to this random game we've picked in Scotland. Danny Wilson. Once of Liverpool Football Club, signed in probably the worst ever Liverpool FC transfer window of all time, when Danny Wilson signed with Christian Poulsen and Milan Jovanovic, amongst others. And Paul Konchesky, I think, as well, was another one who signed that summer. It was a horrendous window. Even Joe Cole, I think, might have signed then. It was just a disgraceful time in Liverpool's history. And he's just smashed it in from Burley 4 yards out. And it still took a deflection. Even 4 yards out, it took a deflection to go in. But the centre-back of Livingston, Danny Wilson, has just scored 1-0. 1-0 to the Yellow and Blacks. Oscar, man, God, that loss was hard, but I'm fine today. It was hard to take, wasn't it, from a United perspective, but it really was. It reminded me a lot of that Mark Robins moment in the FA Cup back in the 90s, when it was, if you don't remember, if you're not old enough to remember, basically in the early 90s when Alex Ferguson was the Man United manager, they played, Alex Ferguson was going through a really tough time as Man United manager, believe it or not. In his early days, it wasn't all going all that well for him. And he was planning, the club was allegedly planning to sack him. It was going that badly. And then Mark Robins scored a goal. Mark Robins, who was the Coventry manager, scored a goal for Manchester United in an FA Cup game. I think it was in 1993. United won the FA Cup game. And because of that, Alex Ferguson kept his job. And then the rest is history, isn't it? Obviously, then they go on. They have the class of 92 coming through. Giggs, Neville, Beckham, but Phil Neville, and all the others who came through at the time as well. Man United go on to become this great Premier League side, winning all them titles, the treble in 99. And, it all went back to that sliding doors Mark Robins moment. And I do feel like last night was a little bit like that for United. And maybe in years to come, we might look back on this game as... maybe that was the time when it all just fell apart for United. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe actually this is the real rock bottom for United, and actually it's only going to get better from here. I mean, I hope, as a Liverpool fan, I don't want them to go down, but there is a chance that could happen next season, couldn't it? Brandon, did you watch the game yesterday? Yes, we did, Brandon, yeah. We did a live watch-along on the channel here on YouTube, on TikTok. It was fantastic. It was great. Elliot, come on, you Spurs. Good to see some Spurs fans in. User not found 600. Yeah, Van der Vaart. It's because you say VDV. I'm so used to that being Van der Vaart for Spurs. Mickey van der Ven was very good. Romero is so calm in finals. You can tell he's played a lot of them. Did you see that little spat as well with Maguire and Romero after the full-time whistle? Oh, he got in Maguire's ear, didn't he? He got in Maguire's ear that night. He absolutely wound him up. But he was very, very good, yeah. Romero and Van der Ven, they were both exceptional last night. Jim, Bissouma was class for them yesterday. He was very good. I thought the midfield three in general, Bentancur, Sarr, Bissouma, they did a really good job. But I think that is where United lost it. They decided to put Bentancur and Casemiro, basically. They just kind of matched each other up, and then that left Sarr and Bissouma to just patrol Bruno Fernandes. Didn't feel like Bruno Fernandes got a kick last night, for the most part, because he had two players on him. He never did anything. Mason Mount, I don't know what happened to Mason Mount last night. And this is what I mean. I think Amorim just got the selection totally wrong. Callum Coyle, yes, Danny Wilson. Our Danny Wilson, his head's fucking massive. Get in. Connor Hetfield, at least United got more time to rest players next season. This is the other thing. There are some Manchester United fans today who are actually trying to argue and make the case that because they're only going to play one game next week, because they're only going to play one game next season, that they are going to do better as a result of it. That actually Manchester United could finish. I think, is it Stephen Howson? Stephen Howson, Manchester United fan. Guy with the beard. Yeah, you might know him. He's come out and said that United are going to finish in the top 6 next season already. Now, again, that could just be rage baiting. That could be engagement farming. It probably is just, I'll just give a controversial opinion to try and get people to click and like. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if he actually believes that, I think that's It's a sad, sad indictment on where United fans are. I don't know what stage of denial that is. User not found. Yep, he definitely had Maguire rattled. Brandon, it was good game management from Ange, in my opinion. He gets people calling him naive and say he only has one way of playing when he chances it up. No, I really thought he was fantastic. Yeah, I thought he was great. And he got the tactics totally spot on. I do think he is a little bit naive though. When Spurs go ahead, he has been naive in the past, hasn't he? He really has. I am James McRae. Who's better up top, Rasmus or Maguire? Rasmus. Listen, I'm telling you, I am absolutely telling you that Rasmus Højlund leaves Man United and goes and kicks on somewhere else in the same way. I'm not saying he's world class, but he'll go and be a striker somewhere else, and United fans at different points in the future will look and go, could we have got a bit more out of him? He was getting Premier League Players of the Month 12 months ago. Premier League Player of the Month. He's only 22. He's only a young lad, and he's playing for a team that, if I'm dead honest, they're crap. United don't create chances. Whoever's up front, you could put prime Falcao up front. It wouldn't matter. They don't create many chances. So, I'm not saying that he's brilliant right now. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be doing better. But he's playing in a team where, as a young player, if you put any young player in that Man United side, I'm pretty confident they'd fail. And we keep seeing examples of it. Look at Anthony. Anthony has left, kicked on. McTominay's played for United for years, come through the academy. He's left. He's kicked on. It's not just those. Wan-Bissaka was dreadful at Manchester United. Looked an awful player. He's gone to West Ham. He's just won Player of the Year at West Ham. He's one of the best right backs in the league based on this season. So for me, when it becomes like that, it's no longer just like an anomaly. It's a pattern. It is a pattern, and you've got to see it for what it is. The real daddy, United shocking. Connor Davis, well, we were right, mate. Spurs won and it was cagey. We did, yeah, you're right, Connor. Absolutely right. Hotspur Army, hello, how are you? Still partying over here? Good lad, good to see you. Yeah, definitely still partying. Tom 10 edits, yo, how's it going? Brandon, yeah, Angie's naive, but hopefully we can build from that and he can adapt to the Prem. And if Van de Ven and Romero can keep fit, it will help a lot. Yeah, just definitely need the injuries to be sorted out for Spurs, don't they? If the injuries happen again next season, then yeah, I think you'll struggle. But if you can go and get a couple of decent players in that squad to be coming in and not having to play Archie Gray at centre-back, there's a really good chance, yeah, that Spurs could do all right next season. Yeah, I totally agree. Connor Hetfield. We've already called that one, sorry. Let me just sort the old clock out there. Livingston 1, Ross County 0 at half-time, by the way, in this one. Danny Wilson with the goal, ex-Liverpool centre-back. Danny Wilson smashing it in from 4 yards out to put Livingston 1-0 up in this one. Big game. Eddie, who? Livingston. We're watching Livingston against Ross County. To keep our pledge, Eddie, of delivering on this channel, we do live watch-alongs every single day. That's what this channel's about. If you've never seen this channel before, if you've never been on here, that's what we do. Live watch-alongs every single day from all different leagues. If there's a football match on, if it's live, chances are we're live. If there's a football match on, chances are so are we. So that's what it's about, mate. Eddie, who asked? You? You asked, Eddie. You asked. Jim, Angie's second season comment is already iconic. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I always win something in my second season. Get in there, Heidenheim. They've equalised. Heidenheim 2. Elversberg 2. Get in there. Hotspur Army, Europa League was the best live I've ever seen. It was great, wasn't it? Yeah, it was fantastic. Dave Toro. Oh, you've absolutely hit me where it hurts there, Dave. Oh, you've absolutely hurt me there. You've killed me there, kid. I won't sleep at night now you've said that. Oh, good grief. So, second half coming up in a couple of minutes in this one. I wish I could talk about who Livingston could change or who Ross County could change from the bench, but I've got to level with you. I don't know who Ross County and Livingston's benches are to make an informed comment on who they could bring on and who they could change. But we can look at them and pretend, I guess. Hotspur Army 1882. Are you dreaming? I mean, I think most Spurs fans feel like they are. Do you know what? Wasn't it mad? I've got to say, a nice thing about Spurs, I guess, is, did you see the stadium last night? They had all those tellies up around the stadium, and the stadium was full. The full Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was full just to watch the Europa League final. Again, I'm not sure how many clubs would have been able to do that. Old Trafford didn't do that. Old Trafford wasn't full. And to me, that's just... Yeah. And that's why I thought to myself before the game, these want it more. They want it more. Reese, this game is probably more entertaining than yesterday's. That's a fair comment. It was bad, wasn't it, yesterday's? James McRae, if I knew who was playing, I could help you see who they should bring on and off. It's Livingston against Ross County, mate. Yeah, Livingston against Ross County. So if we were to look, let's look at the old... Go on, let's have a look at who's on the bench for Ross County, who they could bring on to maybe change some things. Jamie Williamson, 19-year-old midfielder. No, not you. Jordan White, 33-year-old forward. He's got 6 goals in 38 games for County this season. Not sure you're right. Jonathan Tompkinson, defender from America. Nope. Dylan Smith, 18-year-old defender. Got some young lads on this bench. George Robertson, 19-year-old forward. They're all kids. Kieran Phillips, forward. He's got 2 in 16 for Ross County. No, that's not good. I think it's going to be Jordan White. They'd have to bring Jordan White on. Get a forward up there. Jordan White is actually not too bad on a good day. All right, okay. Well, there you go. See, we're learning already on this channel. We're learning already. I am learning that Jordan White is about to maybe come on and try and change things for Ross County. Reese, imagine winning a Europa League final from a Luke Shaw handball. I know, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Brandon, season of the birds. Magpies winning it in the League Cup. Liver Bird winning it in the Premier League. The Eagles winning the FA Cup. And the Cockerel winning the Europa League. And do you know what? Did you see as well? I don't know if you've been on X. If you go on X and you search Premier League Dad, that's my channel. If you go and search on X, you'll see Real Betis did a tweet earlier today, and they said our badge for this week, and it was basically Real Betis's badge, but they'd put like a green bird in the middle of the badge. Fantastic. You love that stuff. Brilliant from Real Betis. The marketing team getting it spot on. So yeah, I am all aboard Team Betis for the Europa Conference League final. AM10, if those reports are true and Wirtz has actually given his word to us, oh my God, but is it reliable? Mate, it is quite reliable from that Bayern space. That account has been going for years. He's been talking about Bayern and getting inside a track on them for years. So, I mean, he's looking at it from a Bayern perspective and saying we definitely won't get him from what he knows. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know. James McRae, we've already done that one, sorry. Hotspur Army, I've been playing We Are the Champions all day. Reese, we're only going to hear one chant from Spurs now. Absolutely abysmal. What's the chant? What's the chant they're going to sing? Where's your European Cup? Is it going to be that? Fair, but listen, again, you've got to take it, haven't you? You've got to take it. Jim, Newcastle put a thing on with a pic of Palace's FA Cup, their Carabao Cup, Spurs' Europa and Kane's Bundesliga. I don't get that. Why would they put that on? Kane's Bundesliga. I do think it's quite funny. I didn't know that this was the case, but Reese told me it the other day that Harry Kane has won the top scorer in the Bundesliga. And did you know that the top scorer award in the Bundesliga is a cannon? He's won it 2 years in a row, so he's going to have two Bundesliga top scorer awards that are cannons in his house as a Spurs legend. I mean, admittedly, there's a picture of him in an Arsenal kit, but there you go. Hotspur Army, champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. Special chant to Arsenal. Yes. AM10, Man United comeback against Lyon. The most pointless comeback ever. It was so good, that game. It was so good. I know what it was shocking in the end. I mean, you might have seen my reaction or whatever. Got that one got some decent views behind it. But yeah, the reaction was unbelievable from United fans, and now they've got to reconcile that with the fact that they actually didn't go on and win it. Jim, the sound was "Look at us" or something like that, and description was "Trophy drought." What trophy? Oh God, yeah. That's the one with Paul Rudd, isn't it? Paul Rudd, where he's opening the beer and going, "Look at us." Who'd have thought? Not me. Yeah. All that. That's great. That's fantastic. Right, we're about to kick off here. Second half. Ross County about to get us underway. James McFadden in the commentary box here. James McFadden, who was at the Goodison Park, the final ever game at Goodison Park, at least for the men's team the other day, as an Everton legend. James McFadden. There was some mad players who Everton were considering to be quote-unquote legends of Goodison Park. Jermaine Beckford was there. Jermaine Beckford. How is Jermaine Beckford being classed as an Everton legend these days? Jake Curtin, take more than tissue roll, these Arsenal fans. They can't enjoy anything, bless them. Judith, good to see you. How are you? Yeah, good, Judith. How are you? Reese, at least Spurs have a chant in response to our "What do you think of Tottenham" chant. Right, County knocking it long already. I mean, it's difficult. I'm guessing it's a plastic pitch. This isn't it? It's AstroTurf, so there's not a lot of quality that you can do on an AstroTurf pitch. You can't knock it about too easy. Jake, am I the only one who's subscribed on TikTok? Says there is a special chat for subs only, or was. I don't know if you're the only one who's subscribed on TikTok. I am going to be starting a Patreon before the new season, because we've had a few people say that they'd be up for doing a members only stream. So maybe what I'm thinking of doing next season, because we're doing like an average of 15 to 20 lives a week, right? So what I'm thinking of doing is at least one a day I'm going to do just for members. So yeah, maybe we do just for members, at least one a day. And we'll do certain games which are just members only. And we'll have our own little forum, our own Discord chat. We'll have all different stuff going on. So, yeah. And Jake, I'm sure you'll be in it. Absolutely, mate. AM10, don't know if you watched the Championship, but Tyrese Dolan from Blackburn is a free agent. Yeah, do watch the Championship. Was surprised that Tyrese Dolan's left Blackburn. I would have thought he would have stuck around. Livingston from the edge of the area here. Shots. Miles over. But yeah, I think there might be a few teams who take a chance on Tyrese Dolan. Do you think? Jake, that's a waste of 250. No, it's not. Good crowd for this game tonight. About as empty as the empty had, says Reese. Nah. I'm surprised how few people there are in the stadium. 500. Hotspur Army, you denied us before, so we had to do it against the other red club. Mike J24, opinions on Chelsea. I think you get the Champions League. Yeah, I think Kukureya has had a really, really strong season. As much as I don't like him, I think he's had a very, very good season. I still think Enzo Maresca's not the right manager for you. You've got the base of a very good midfielder with Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo. Some good players in there. I really like Cole Palmer. Chance for Livingston, over, miles over. Yeah, so you've got the base of a good squad, but I think your wide areas, your centre forward, your goalkeeper, and your centre backs need looking at if you're going to be any meaningful sort of challengers next season. Needs lots of work, and I think Chelsea are probably far more likely to get fined than they are to be spending big money in the summer. You know, so you're going to have to move some players on. We don't know what's going to happen with Mudryk either. I wonder what's going to happen with Mykhailo Mudryk. LM10, I reckon he goes to Middlesbrough or Ipswich. I mean, I think he's probably more likely to go to... I'm not sure. I mean, Borough and Ipswich, you'd say, are probably up there with the favourites to go up next year. Wouldn't you say? Good chances of going straight up in the automatic places, I would say. Depending on, obviously, what happens with Leicester over the summer. Jake, I was carrying on from the last comment. I run out of letters. Sorry, that looked rude. It's all right, man. Don't worry. Reese, if Livingston score, they'll have about 3 people celebrating in the end they're shooting at. I genuinely think there's more Livingston players on the pitch than there are fans in the crowd, to be honest, at this point. Jaden Thompson, score. It's 1-0 to Livingston. Yeah, 1-0 to Livingston. Mike J, 24. Mudryk will not play a game in a blue shirt again. Why? What do you think will happen to him? Do you think he'll... It seems like he's not... I mean, allegedly he's saying he's done nothing wrong and there's still an investigation ongoing. So... Reese the PT. Leicester do the double drop. Do you think Ruud van Nistelrooy stays Leicester manager? Intrigued to see what happens with Leicester. And obviously Southampton's, Will Still about to be appointed Southampton manager. And I really rate Will Still, actually. I think he'll do well for them. Here's Ross County. Oh, that's really poor. Really poor, that from County. Honestly, how are these calling themselves professional footballers like that? He could play for United, him. That's how good he is. He could play for United. Keeps playing like that. Jake Curtin, think of you streaming would make sense for everyone to grow the channel. A Discord sounds like a good idea. Okay, cool. Reese the PT, he's been sacked, hasn't he? Nistelrooy's leaving, pal. Is he really? Hang on a minute. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Have I missed something here? Have I missed something? Oh, 12 hours ago? Yeah, I mean, it was announced today, but I didn't see it. All right, well, there you go. So Ruud van Nistelrooy's going. Okay, well then there's the other answer. Who's going to replace Ruud van Nistelrooy as Leicester manager? Mike J24, Chelsea need to stop signing young kids, get Osimhen and get some experience at the back. Who would you go for, Mike? Who would be your sort of your profile? Who would you like in those positions? Reach the PT. Will Southampton still compete? You're a born journalist writing headlines like that. Yeah, will Southampton still compete? Will still. Ginger Will as well. Definitely got to have a name badge on him. Hi, my name's Will. Osimhen does seem like, of all the clubs in England that could go and get Osimhen, Chelsea is definitely that club. But I think he's made for Saudi. I am almost certain he's going to go to Saudi, Reese, they're going to have a minus 15 points, maybe a transfer ban. Who's that, Leicester or Chelsea? We've just been talking about both, so it could be either of them. I think Chelsea have got a chance of getting a transfer ban. They're definitely going close to the edge, aren't they? And the same could probably be said with Leicester. Mike J24, I would play Petrovic in goal next season. He's had an unbelievable season. Has he been out on loan, Petrovic? Where has he been? Clash off the ball here. Both players down for Livingston and for County, for Ross County. Oh yeah, he's been at Strasbourg. How did I not know that? He's been at Strasbourg. Reach the PT. Imagine if Leicester get a -15, then transfer ban. Throw the book at them, make an example. Reach the PT. When's the Man City 115 charge result? Well, there's 2 dates. There's 2 dates to look forward to in that one. Date number 1 is going to be when they actually get found either not guilty of everything, guilty of everything, or guilty of some things, not guilty of others. I think it's going to be one of them 3, obviously, will happen. Well, it definitely will be. It can only be those 3 things. Either not guilty, guilty, or partially guilty. So it's going to be one of them 3 that happens. And then, once that happens, then there'll be another big long wait while the lawyers try to delay and obfuscate and, appeal and all these different things once they've been actually found guilty on certain things, allegedly. And then it will be, right, this is the punishment. And then once they get the punishment, then it'll be the appeal again. So the punishment won't actually be like an immediate and final thing. I honestly believe that the City thing will rumble on for at least another 2 years. I genuinely don't think it's any time soon. I know it's been... And the sad thing is it's been going on for 10 years already. The first charges date back like 10 years. And it just shows how bad it's been. Don't think they can appeal. They have to. That's codified in the sports arbitration. They have to have the right of appeal to whatever decision is made. They tear them apart with solicitors if they didn't get the right to appeal. There'll be a process. There has to be due process, and the reason it's taken so long is because that is the job of lawyers. Literally, the job of lawyers is to slow things down. If you think you're guilty, I'm not saying for 1 second that City are, but I'm just saying if that was to happen and City thought that they were guilty, they have the best lawyers in the world, they have unlimited resources, and lawyers, the best lawyers in the world, charge like thousands of pounds per hour, right? So their bill is running up into the tens of millions at this point, maybe even the hundreds of millions at this point. And they don't really they've got an endless pot of money, so it doesn't really make much of a difference to them. The Premier League also have to use really good lawyers, and they don't have that endless pot of money. So at some point, the lawyers' fees are going to get that big that what's going to happen is City and the Premier League, and I think this is the point we're at now, to be honest, City and the Premier League will just get in a room, they'll have a chat, and it'll be right. Our lawyers' fees are getting ridiculous. They're getting out of hand now. It's going to cost us more for this to try and settle this case. And we'd rather just get it sorted and get it moved on. Why don't we agree now that you're guilty of some of the things that we're accusing you of and not the other things that you say you're not guilty of? And we'll agree a reduced punishment for you. Just so we can end this now. We can end the lawyers' fees, cancel it all, and we can all move on, right? I think that's what's going to happen. And they'll probably be in a room right now discussing what that looks like and how they report it to the general public and whatever. It won't even be City are guilty. It'll be a settlement. It'll be City have been found not guilty, but have chosen maybe to not participate in the Champions League for the next 3 seasons. Or something like that. It'll be I really do think it'll be something like that, where they've actually agreed to a much, much lesser punishment. And maybe one of them also like a suspended punishment where it's, and if you do it again, then you get a 50-point deduction. And then City just don't really do anything. So that it's not going to be the rap on the knuckles, the relegation that everyone's hoping for. It ain't going to be that. They'll get away with it. Sadly. Right, hang on a second. Apache Helicopter, I reckon they're going to get partially guilty and it'll be the lesser charges. Yep, totally agree. Mike J24, I would sign Mark Gay or Jared Branthwaite, a proper winger with final product and a proper number 9. Jared Branthwaite is probably 60 million. Gay is probably 40 million. I think Gay's the far better of the two. and then a winger. I'm not sure who you'd go and get. If you go and get Brian and Burmo, that'd make sense, wouldn't it? Brian and Burmo's a top class winger. AM10, United will now have to play Carabao Cup games in August. Oh, they will, won't they? They won't get European protection. United will be playing Port Vale away in the Carabao Cup. Livingston have just hit it over the bar. First real chance of the second half there. Mike J24, Nico Williams would be ideal, but don't see it happening because his package is ridiculous. Yeah, there's rumours about Nico Williams, or there has been, hasn't there? Nico Williams to Arsenal for a good while. I don't think Arsenal sign a winger. Again, rumours about Rodrigo this week. Rodrigo's not going to Arsenal. There's absolutely no way Rodrigo's going to Arsenal. Again, that would be mad. That would be absolutely mad to think that he'd go there. Right, Ross County, it's a free kick to Livingston here. They're making a quick change. Is it... Who's coming on? Oh, it's our mate, Jordan White. We said Jordan White would come on. Well, it's Alex Samuel who's gone off. Jordan White has come on. Centre forward for Ross County. So they're obviously committing a few more forward to try and get the equaliser. Mike, I don't think Rodrigo's that good, to be honest. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd agree with that. I think he's fantastic. Honestly, if I was looking from a Liverpool perspective, I think if Mo Salah could... if Mo Salah could be replaced now, or we needed to replace him now, Rodrigo's the player I'd be going for Liverpool. Definitely. Top player. Really like him. Really hard-working player as well. I think that's the thing. James McRae, what did I say? I knew Jordan White would come on. I know this is it. We were just looking on the subs, weren't we, at half-time, and on he comes. Daniel Finlayson coming on for Macaulay Tate for Livingston. He looks like Anthony Gordon, him. He looks like Anthony Gordon with red hair. Finlayson. Anthony Gordon. What about Anthony Gordon to Liverpool as well? That one seems to be doing the rounds. Anthony Gordon to Liverpool. I'm not sure for 75 million that's going to happen though. Mike, are you taking Wirtz or Rodrigo right now? Difficult again, because I think that they play both in very different positions, don't they? Wirtz is more of a 10 than anything. I'm not sure I'd put Wirtz playing out wide. And if I had to, I'd honestly much rather Rodrigo. I'd rather we be going getting Rodrigo than Wirtz. Yeah. Rodrigo would I think, be a better signing for Liverpool. I'm kind of torn on the whole Florian Wirtz thing because he's already made it clear that he wants to play for Bayern Munich. And Liverpool, I'm not sure how happy I am with Liverpool spending maybe 100 million quid for a player who's not really, really, really wanting to come to Liverpool. Like, he wants to come, I'm sure, because he's not got the option to go into Bayern now. But, yeah, I don't know if I would spend 100 million on that player. Joe's though, matey wouldn't go to Liverpool. He loves Newcastle. Who are you on about here? Are you on about Anthony Gordon? Anthony Gordon supports Liverpool, mate. He'd quite happily come to Liverpool over Newcastle. For a kick-off, he'll have Champions League football with us. Bundesliga players scare me, to be honest. They haven't worked out in the Prem for us. Havertz didn't do too bad. Yeah, Havertz didn't do too bad, did he? I mean, he's gone to... I actually think Kai Havertz is a thoroughly decent player. Yeah, I think there's been some poor transfers, don't get me wrong, over the years from the Bundesliga to the Prem, but we've had We've had some good ones as well. There have been some decent ones over the years. Mickey van der Ven, Mickey van der Ven, last night for Spurs. I think he's done really well since coming in from Wolfsburg. You could say the same for, obviously, your De Bruyne's. Who else? Oh, I mean, De Bruyne, City, Haaland. Haaland was from the Bundesliga, wasn't he? Akanji's done quite well since he's come in. Who did Liverpool? Liverpool have signed some from the Bundesliga. Emre Can was a great player for Liverpool. Kanate from RB Leipzig. I mean, admittedly, Naby Keita wasn't amazing, but he also wasn't terrible. I'll fight any Liverpool fan that tells me he was awful. Who else have we had come in from the Bundesliga? Gravenberch. He was another one, came in from Bayern. Although, I know he'd only been at Bayern for 5 minutes. Did Mateta come in? I think Mateta came in from the Bundesliga, didn't he? Who did he play for in the Bundesliga? I'm sure he signed from the Bundesliga. Matip, yeah. Joel Matip, Schalke on a free. You can't get better than that. There's definite quality to be found in the Bundesliga for sure. Josto, he's going to have Champions League football with us as well, pal. He might do. Then again, he might not. Everton might get a draw out of you this weekend. If they do, Villa beat United, Chelsea beat Forest. You're in the Europa, mate. You're in the Europa, my old son. And then what? Then Alexander Isak's going to be looking for a way out. And so is probably Anthony Gordon. Mike Havertz was shocking for Chelsea, and Nkunku is even worse. I mean, Nkunku's bad, yeah. Nkunku's been bad. But Jake, I like that one. Joel Matip, definitely. Mike, I think Havertz for the Champions League final goal. But other than that, nah. Yeah, I was going to say, you've had some bad ones, haven't you? Obviously, Nkunku, Werner, as well, is the other standout one. Chelsea haven't really done well from the Bundesliga. I mean, Ballack came in, didn't he? He was a Bundesliga player. Aria, can't wait to see Man United playing Hull and Derby in the Championship. Do we think it's a realistic possibility that they could get relegated next season? I don't think so. Mike, we actually sold Eden Hazard to buy Ziyech, Werner and Havertz, the worst front three, and still won the Champions League. Yeah. The mad thing is, this is the thing with Chelsea. Like, I'll level with you, mate. I really don't like Chelsea as a football club. I mean, I've no problem with Chelsea fans who've supported them through thick and thin, going back to kind of the Zola days when you know, before Abramovich, pre-Abramovich Chelsea fans, or if your dad was a Chelsea fan or something like that, going back donkey's years and you supported him because your dad. It's the Chelsea fans who are hanger-oners who've only started supporting him out of the blue in the last 10 years, right? It's that sort of a thing. I don't like him because Liverpool have already had a rival with him over the years. And the frustrating thing with Chelsea is that you've won the Champions League twice with two teams that I didn't think were ever actually that good. Two of Chelsea's... The best Chelsea teams didn't win anything in Europe, really. That's been the frustration, hasn't it? You've had some unbelievable players. Aria, City seem to always hit with Bundesliga signings. Yep. Kanji, Gundogan, good player, very good player. Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland. Yeah, they've done well. Dropped on. Aria can't stand Rory Jennings. I'm not a massive fan of Rory Jennings, but I don't like. There's other prominent football sort of people in the space that I'm trying to get into, I guess, that are a lot more irritating and annoying than Rory Jennings. I think Rory Jennings can articulate himself quite well sometimes. But yeah, he can be frustrating. LR, that's how football works. Clubs get success and fans come along with it. No, I don't think that is how football should work. No, I don't think it is. I think football's more of a romantic sport, and you should support the team where you're from, or who your dad supports, or your mum, or whoever. The club where you've got a connection in some way, shape or form. You don't just pick the team that's playing well and you pick them. For me, that's pithy. That's not a team. That's not a proper fan. And I'll die on that hill. If you've just picked the team that was playing well and that's your team, then whatever. Good luck. Hello, champions d'Angleterre. Good to see him. Ella, Chris. Klopp lost Europa League in his first season in charge. United will be back bigger and better. Yeah, but Klopp didn't finish in 17th, and Klopp... There were signs with Klopp. There was some real signs. We saw in that first season under Klopp enough to say, this guy's like brilliant. We love him. We absolutely love him. And you could see a style of play. You could see a pattern of play there. Liverpool didn't finish 17th under Jurgen Klopp in his first season. Mike J24 still managed to have arguably the best midfielder in the Prem and the best centre-half the Prem has seen. Yeah, it wasn't a terrible Chelsea side, that one. You still obviously Ashley Cole, your John Terry, your Frank Lampard, Drogba. Decent, but not amazing. Gaffer Price, Spurs were lucky. 3 shots, 1 on target and an own goal. That's not luck. They scored and they sat back and it was great tactics from Ange. Here's Ross County driving forward here. It's still 1-0 to Livingston, but County are driving forward. Shot from distance. Good save behind for a corner. LR, it isn't how football should work, but that's how it is. That's why Barca and Madrid are so big. Yeah, maybe. James McRae, what's the score? Yeah, Livingston 1, County 0, going into the last 20 minutes of the game here. Last 20 minutes. Mike J24, Chelsea's DNA is gone since Roman left. No more leaders, no more JTs, no more Didiers, Lamps or Cole. Shot on target from County. It was Kenner, I think, in midfield. I know it was right. And it's still 1-0. Chris, he got rid of 5 to 6 players too and brought in Mane and some others, turned the club around. Yeah, and he made some big decisions as well. By the way, Jurgen Klopp came in and he immediately said Benteke had signed for Liverpool the season before. We paid 30 million quid for Benteke. And he hadn't done all that badly. Brendan Rodgers hadn't started the season well, but he still had, I think, something like 11 in... Did he have like 11 goals in maybe 25 or 26 games at the point Klopp had come in? It was something like that. Like, it wasn't brilliant, but it also wasn't dreadful, right? And Klopp immediately came in, had a word with Benteke, evidently, and said, listen, great player, really like you, but I'm going to level with you. You're not the type of centre-forward that my teams play with. I need someone who's more aggressive, faster, pacer, is going to chase and press and harry. That's not you, that's not your game, so it's going to be a struggle for you. We need to find you a move away. He ended up going to Palace. We got basically our money back on Benteke, but that was a big call. He was signed a big signing in the summer before, and yeah, he sold him. Immediately went and said, you're not my player, out you get. That'd be like... in basically it'd be like Amarim now going to Yoro, wouldn't it? Yoro, I don't need you. You're not my type of centre-back. That's not me. LR, I'm a City fan, born and bred in Moss Side. We've gained so many more fans since winning trophies. It's the same with us, mate, in Liverpool. Listen again, City fans in Moss Side, Christ, you've probably seen it all, haven't you? You've probably seen going back to the Gillingham days, Gillingham in the penalty shootout. Darren Huckabee and Dickov and all that sort of thing. That's City side. Love City fans. Mate, I've got an old City shirt with IDOS on the front. I had no problem with those sort of generation of City fans. Same as I haven't got a problem with Chelsea fans who, remember Gus Poyet and Gianfranco Zola. It's or even just Chelsea fans who are second or third generation Chelsea fans who are younger. That's fine. And again, it's from a Liverpool fan's perspective. Since we've got better, it's become harder to go to the games. You've got a core of day trippers, we call them, day trippers who come into the club, and they're no less of a fan. It's just I think it affects the quality of the atmosphere. So because your day trippers come in and they don't tend to sing the songs as much. They've still committed. I mean, Christ, there's people who've spent thousands and thousands of pounds to fly over and stuff like that. It's a massive commitment to come and watch Liverpool if you're flying in from like Korea or South Africa or wherever, Russia, the other side of the world. So it's no slight on them per se, but I think there's got to be a balance, hasn't there? There's got to be a balance, and the clubs in the Premier League don't seem to be getting it right, and that's what's affecting atmospheres nowadays. Jake, United are a shambles, need to sign some proven players to get them back on track. LR, I say fans loosely, I mean more global fans, if you get my point. Yeah, absolutely, mate, totally agree with what you're saying. Totally agree. Jake Curtin, you paid more to us for Carroll. That was dreadful. I know, but even Andy Carroll, we got pretty much our money back on. Andy Carroll, we sold for... we bought for 35, and I think we sold him for 25 to West Ham. So it wasn't a massive loss, the Andy Carroll one. We did all right out of Andy Carroll to West Ham. I think we got 22 million, and we got like a £5 million loan fee, something like that. It was all right. It was all right. And to be honest, I'd have paid £8 million for the goal that he scored for us against Everton in the FA Cup semi-final. It was brilliant. This one's just petering out now, I'll be honest. Livingston look quite comfortable. County are knocking it long, but there's not really any chances. Nothing going on in the game. It's been a difficult watch, this one. And it's all set up for the second leg, because we're going to be doing the second leg. H, who do you think for the Ballon d'Or? I think it has to be Salah. I think they want to give it to Yamal, but it has to be Salah. I can't see how you don't give it to the guy who's been so consistent for 8-9 years, and he's had the best season in terms of, goals, assists, chances created from open play. Mo Salah's like the top of the charts at pretty much everything. So for me, it has to be Mo Salah. It can't be Dembele for me. Even if PSG win the treble, it can't be Dembele. He's only got one more goal contribution than Mason Greenwood, for fuck's sake. So you can't give it to Dembele. Rafinha's had a good season, but again, could be an anomaly with Rafinha. Rafinha's only had one season like this, and if next season he went back to having 10 goals or something like that, no one would be amazed by it. No one would be surprised. Whereas Salah has been Mr. Consistent. He's been doing this pretty much for 8-9 years now. He's the best in the world. He just is. There is no doubt about it. Remco, top 3 Liverpool players of all time. Well, I'll only do my lifetime because I think that's fair. So I'm not going to talk about... There's obviously, your Kenny Dalglish's, your Ian Rush, John Barnes, Alan Hansen. But John Barnes was kind of... I just caught the tail end of John Barnes when I was growing up. For me, best players in my lifetime for Liverpool would be Gerrard, Suarez, Van Dijk. Yeah, Gerrard, Suarez, Van Dijk. Alisson would be up there as well, and Mo Salah, of course. Alisson and Mo Salah would be up there, but yeah, Gerrard, Suarez, Van Dijk, in some order. Fayaz, give me confidence on Man United. Okay, confidence on Man United from a Liverpool fan, mate, is football is cyclical. It works in cycles. Liverpool had their moment in the 90s. We were floundering, and we were down there and we were struggling. Man United are going to have their moment now. It's been a rough 10 years for United, but only rough in the sense of not winning the league or the Champions League. You've won Europa Leagues, you've been to finals, you've won League Cups and FA Cups. If this is a dark time for Man United in the last 10 years, I'd hate to see what other teams' dark times are. So yeah, don't think too much about it. United will be back. I am sure they will. in a dark position at the minute, but it will all change eventually again. Joe Stowe, Jacob Murphy's better than Salah, pal. Jacob Murphy, bloody hell. I'll remember that when you're trying to move him on this summer. The final boss. Do you know who... No, I have no idea who that person is. Who is it? Let me Google him. No. No idea. Oh, is this the Spurs fan? Is this the Spurs fan? There's been pictures of her on social media and stuff where she's been the game last night. Is that the one? Is that what we're talking about? She's on TalkSport and DR Sports. Yes, yes. Then I do vaguely know her. Yeah, I didn't know the name, but yes, I do vaguely know her. Why? I will say Salah has been great last few months. However, you can't deny his performances all round. I mean, you say he hasn't been great, but that's only because he's not been as good as he has been all season. Even in the games where he hasn't scored recently, Salah has been putting chances on a plate for other people. He is an unbelievable player. If there was a compilation this season of chances that Salah, like assists that Salah should have got, he'd have like an extra 20 assists. The guy has been putting chances on a plate for people all season. He's unbelievable. He's absolutely unbelievable. And you can't argue with his consistency. He's so good. And, yeah. I agree. He just hasn't been the star showman as he usually was. Yeah, that's it. And I honestly, mate, I think they want to give it to Lamine Yamal, and I don't blame him. They want to give it to Yamal. I just don't think Yamal is quite the best player in the world just yet. He probably will be. I'm sure he'll have his time. But I'm not sure he is just yet. Johnny Matthews, as much as I think stats are BS, his expected assists for the season are like 9. Expected assists. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure I would argue with the XG and expected assists. All of that is absolute BS. I mean, do you know what as well? And it's not even just that. Like, so have a look at Harvey Elliott's goal the other night. Prime example. Harvey Elliott's goal the other night. The assist is by Conor Bradley, but Mo Salah creates that. The pass from Mo Salah to Conor Bradley is so difficult to pull off. And again, he won't get any credit for it. That doesn't show up in the stats. But he's the part of everything good that Liverpool do. Sensational player. Sunderland or Sheffield United, says Zach. I hope Sunderland, but I'm expecting it to be Sheffield United. We'll be live for that on Saturday, by the way. So we're doing watch-alongs on this channel every single day, but we are going to be live on Saturday for Sheffield United against Sunderland. We're also going to be live for the German Cup final, the DFB Pokal. Arminia Belfield and Stuttgart in that one. Johnny Matthews, Yamal, Rafinha or Dembele will win it. Just the Prem and an early Champions League exit killed Salah's chance. Just the Prem. Just the Prem. The thing is, an early Champions League exit, we only went out on penalties and probably to the team that's going to win it as well. The thing with Dembele, he's only had one more goal contribution than Mason Greenwood this season. So I don't think he's the obvious choice at all. He's had a good season, as has Rafinha, but you can't give it to them two. You can't give it to them two. It has to go to either Salah or Yamal. If it goes to Yamal, then it's obviously a PR thing. It's obviously a marketing ploy. He's not the best player in the world. I'm sure he will do. The guy will absolutely win Ballon d'Ors in future. He's not right now. He's not right now. It is Mo Salah right now. There's no doubt in it's Mo Salah right now. Yeah, it is all PR based. I totally agree. Like I say, they all want the new poster child, don't they? The new golden boy, the star. And And they want the guy who's going to be the next Messi, the next Ronaldo, and that is Yamal. Yamal is going to be fantastic. I love watching him play, but for me, I don't think he's the best in the world just yet. Tommy06, come on you Spurs, get in there. Haaland with the treble and a crazy amount of records still didn't win. It's mad. I don't rate Haaland. I love, I like him, but I just don't ever think he's going to be. Whenever you talk with any fan base, ask him, who's your all-time Premier League 11? Haaland never comes in the equation. It's mad, innit? It's mad. Everyone talks about Suarez, Aguero, Henry, Kane, Shearer. Haaland's got the record. He never even gets a mention. They never even talk about him. Why is that? Jake, the people who vote for the Ballon d'Or seem to hate Salah. I think he's going to get it. I really do. I think they're going to give it to an African as well. For the first time in 30 years. The last African to win it was George Weah in 1995. So I think it's probably a PR thing to give it to an African player as well, because I think Samuel Eto'o had a chance to win it in 2009 when Inter won the treble. And he got left out. He got overlooked. Captain Blick. Forest will get Delap. We have to. Chris Wood is seeing the retirement home already, mate. Delap will be a good signing for Forest, yeah, if you can get him. Definitely. Yeah, good signing. Ooh, could be a penalty. Has he give it? No, he's given a yellow card. Livingston player went down in the area and he's give a dive. Smith went down. He's give a dive there. Ooh, that's bad. That is really, really bad. That's a pen, that. That's a pen. That should have been a pen. That should have been a pen. I'm telling you, that should have been a pen. That should have been a penalty to Livingston. Livingston have been hard done by, though. Livingston have been hard done by. I am telling you. They've got it all wrong. Right, listen, by the way, I just want to say, we are going to be live tomorrow night for Napoli against Cagliari. It's the Serie A final day, basically. Well, it's the final day in terms of Inter Milan. Inter Milan are getting the game played earlier because they're in the Champions League final. So Inter Milan are playing Como and Napoli are playing Cagliari on the final day. There's still the final day to come a couple of days later. Juventus against Venezia is another game we're going to watch. But it's mad. In Italy, they've split the final day. So the two teams that are competing for the title, it's Inter and Napoli, are playing at the same time. So we're going to be live tomorrow night at 6:45 p.m. for Napoli against Cagliari. If you want to watch that with us, if you want to stick with us for that, make sure you get over to YouTube, search Premier League Dad. Make sure you've liked and subscribed, of course, if you're already on YouTube. Make sure you followed up here if you're on TikTok. Dokes, Oscar at Chelsea is better than Lamine Yamal. I really liked Oscar. I was really sad when he left. I thought he was a very underrated player, Oscar, wasn't he? Captain Blake, if we don't get him, I'm going to go mad. Johnny Matthews, Haaland's numbers and records will have him in conversations when he's retired. Nostalgia will do him very nicely. Again, I like him, but do you not think things like the FA Cup penalty will go against him as well? Like, I just look at him and think, there's no way I would want... Like, there's no way I'd be picking Haaland over Wayne Rooney. And Wayne Rooney is not a striker whose, goal numbers were... Even Drogba. Drogba is a player I consistently argue is incredibly overrated in the Premier League. And I loved Didier Drogba. Top centre forward. But I would never ever say he was, up here. I think Andy Cole's better than him. I'd even argue Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is better than him. Both top strikers. And I think both of those cause, even Drogba, I think Drogba causes far more problems for defences than Erling Haaland does. If Erling Haaland doesn't score a goal, you don't notice him. He doesn't do anything to get involved. He doesn't scare defences in the same way that I think other attackers do. Livingston, chance. Should have been 2-0. Livingston should have killed this game off. They should have had at least a penalty or something, but Smith's done really well down this right-hand side. Jake Haaland's played in 8 finals for City and scored no goals. I mean, I'm not going to hold that against him, just the scoring in finals thing, but I think the penalty situation the other day where he gives it to Marmoush, Rooney doesn't do that. Aguero, Messi, Ronaldo, Salah, none of them. None of them. There's absolutely no way that strikers in big moments don't take that penalty, and he didn't. And I think he passed it to Marmoush, and that was a bit of a shitbag thing to do, if I'm dead honest with you. What are we on? 88. Johnny Matthews still his third top scorer when there's been zero creativity in the side this season. Now, and again, I'm not knocking Haaland and saying that he's not still a fantastic player and probably the best centre forward in the world. He is, and he scores goals. He's a really top finisher, and he's a great box finisher. But I just feel like he doesn't do enough off the ball to really work defences. If there's a ball in the box, he's finishing it. And for that reason, I'm sure, he will be remembered fondly. But there's still a part of me that looks at him and thinks, I don't know. Jim, Rafinha has to win the Ballon d'Or. I know he hasn't been good before this season, but he's been phenomenal. And Salah's been overrated. Dembele and Yamal not there yet. Callum Coyle, we're playing well. I'd take a 2-0. I've changed my mind. It has been good, hasn't it, Livingston, in the second half? I think you should have had more. You really should have had more. Jim De Bruyne, XG versus Bournemouth. Callum Coyle. I can't see what that said. VAR, that's the clip. Read my last. We're going up. Yeah. Listen, I think honestly Livingston have done well there, and they're probably unfortunate only to be 1-0 up in this. County have flapped it. The scrum down Ballon d'Or is overhyped nonsense. It's a team sport. I'd rather win a League Cup than that. Jim, who's the best Premier League player ever? I think Rooney. I liked Rooney. I did like Rooney. But I do think it's difficult. It's really difficult to say. I think I'm always going to say that if I could pick one player and only one player to be in my team for a big game, it'd be Steven Gerrard. His reputation in finals, he won every physical battle. The guy was incredible. He could do everything. So I think and even when you speak to other players who played against him, even rival clubs, players, they all say the same. Gerrard was always the best in England training, better than Rooney, better than any of them. He was always better than any of them, and he's the goal in the Champions League final to get us going, the goal in the FA Cup final, goal against Olympiacos. It was always Gerrard. He's Mr. Superstar, isn't he? He's basically like Roy of the Rovers. In an actual player. Johnny Matthews, is that not a striker's job though? You can't have the best of both worlds. The complaint before Haaland for City was never having any presence in the box. Haaland can't win. No, it's not that he can't win, mate. It's one of them in terms of he can win because he is the best centre forward in the world right now. Of that, there is no dispute. I like him. I think he's a very, very good centre forward. I'm just saying, if you're comparing him to strikers in years gone by, I'm not sure Haaland's up there with the very, very best. Callum Coyle will fuck them up again. Are you watching the second leg? Yes, mate, we are watching the second leg. So if you've not followed already, make sure you followed. We're going to be doing Ross County v Livingston next week. We'll be doing the second leg of that one. It's a minute to go in this one. We're staying up, sorry. We're not in the Scottish Championship. You are in the Scottish Championship, aren't you? Livingston are in the Championship. Johnny, I think a lot of that is nostalgia, to be honest. I don't know, mate. I think the quality of do you not think the quality of football's gone down in recent years? I really do. Claim for a penalty from Ross County, they're not getting it. Yeah, I do, mate. I just think if you look at... I refuse to believe that if you've got Suarez up front, or worse teams have got a lot better. 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 Worse teams have got a lot better Look, we're never going to be able to tell, are we? We're never going to be able to tell, because the only way we'd be able to definitively tell is if you had a team from the past come back and play a team from the future. But I do. I think the teams like, Chelsea in 04-05, I thought they were brilliant. I thought United 07-08, terrific. They're just better. I think they're better. I don't know. And I included, some. I think this Liverpool team this year. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just think football's not as intense anymore in that sense. Football was an open game back then. I know, but that's what Pep's ruined it, hasn't he? In that sense, that's why the whole tiki-taka, keep the ball, risk-averse style of football. It's nonsense. Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. Callum Coyle, check it. We're in the Scottish Prem, I think. You're not, mate. Livingston are in the Championship. Ross County are in the Prem. Jim, I thought you'd say Gerrard. Have you not? How are you a fan of Livingston and you've not got the league right? Oh, we are. There's a VAR. There's a VAR at the end of the game. It's going to be a penalty to Ross County. Oh, my God. Drama. Late drama here. Late drama. Jim, do you think Kante is in the top 15 best Premier League players? Ooh, I like him, but I don't. That's not a pen. Why are they giving a VAR for that? That's not a pen. Don't be silly. That's not a penalty. That isn't a penalty. That isn't a penalty. That's a dive. That is a dive. He's give a pen. He's give a pen. Oh my God. How are we watching this? I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Johnny, Pep hasn't ruined it. It's other managers who haven't tried and copy him. Well, yeah, it is other managers who haven't tried and copied him. But again, I don't watch Pep's teams and think they're amazing. Mate, and I'm saying that like I thought his Barcelona team was fantastic, but I found Manchester City incredibly dull to watch. Effective, very effective, but very, very dull. Callum, it is given. What game are you watching, Callum? It is given. He's got a penalty here. Livingston, are you winding me up here? It's a penalty here for Ross County. They're stepping up and taking it. It's 95th minute on the clock. And he scored it. It's 1-1. Ross County have scored to set up the second leg. 1-1. Oh, it was so tight. It was 1-0 Livingston. It was going over to the end of the game. Livingston should have wrapped it up. They could have had 2. And it's now 1-1 going into the second leg. This is absolute madness. Johnny Matthews, Centurions team was the best on the eye in Premier. No, they weren't, mate. They weren't. They just. Well, hey, listen. You sound like a City fan, and maybe you are. I don't know, but I'm not having for 1 second that the Centurions were the best in the Prem. No, not to watch. No chance. Difficult. Very difficult. How is that a pen, though? That's a joke. It is. Honestly, I didn't think that was a pen at all. I thought it was a really poor decision. And it's full time. He's blew up. Oh, and there's fights going on. Oh, my God, it's all going off here. It's all going off. Oh. Right, listen. We're calling it quits for the night. It's nearly 10 o'clock. I'm getting home, right? It's finished here. Livingston 1, Ross County 1. I'm going to be live tomorrow night at 6:45 for Napoli against Cagliari. Big game. The decider in the Serie A title race. Friday night football. Napoli against Cagliari. Make sure you give us a follow, give us a subscribe and all that. So, yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow night. Will, you're getting home. You are home, are you not? No, I am not home. This is somewhere else. But yeah, I am. I'm going home. I'm going to bed now. I'm still knackered. I'm still emotionally drained from last night's Spurs win. But I am going to be live tomorrow night, 6:45, an hour before kickoff for Napoli against Cagliari. As I say, the Premier League, or Serie A, the Scudetto title decider. Come and give us a like, come and give us a follow, come and give us a subscribe, all that good stuff. Get over to YouTube and search Premier League Dad. And I will see you all tomorrow night. Take it easy. Have a nice night.